Meanwhile, it's been over 4 months since the majority of Americans overwhelmingly voted for Donald Trump, but still those rivers of lefty tears just keep on flowing.
Folks, grab your popcorn because the left is having another full-blown meltdown, and it's glorious. 4 months after Trump's landslide victory, the tears are still flowing, the tantrums are still raging, and Hollywood, the media, and these unhinged Democrats are doubling down on their delusions, including CNN's shocking admission that Trump is more popular than ever. We're breaking down the left's epic collapse.
Everyone in my family voted for Trump. And my child's trans, and I'm so hurt.
Others prefer to internalize their deep democratic rage.
We will not be silenced. The silent riot has begun.
Okay, but speaking of Hollywood movies, actors with dwarfism are now rightly up in arms that Snow White used animated dwarves instead of real ones, and who can blame them?
Why don't I begin a protest about the fact that Disney decided to use CGI dwarfs, not even the real thing? We could have gotten higher, we could have gotten money for something, but no.
Disney's so inclusive they'd rather animate dwarves than hire real people with dwarfism. Such hypocrites. They preach diversity but cut corners to avoid offending anyone. And let's be real, this Snow White remake is a train wreck. Even leftist critics are trashing it. Woke ideology ruins everything it touches.
There you go, but I digress. Those discombobulated Democrats certainly are struggling to cope with their MAGA meltdowns.
Knowing that I was born with more rights than I have now is a pretty crazy feeling. Knowing that what we're about to go through means the possibility of me losing more of my rights, and that being a real threat, is insane. If you weren't scared this election, you have so much privilege.
Okay, well, she makes just about as much sense as this young lefty lady who, what a surprise, happens to be a pronouns-obsessed kindergarten teacher.
That's okay. Don't assume. You can always just ask, which pronouns do you use? He, him, she, her, they, them, these, let me know which one do you prefer?
Me, he, she, who, what, they, I give up. And speaking of gender nonsense, I just love this idea I spotted online.
I just read something on Instagram that said Trump should identify as a female because then the liberals would either have to accept that he's the first female president or admit that their ideology is
Too funny. Alas, I fear there is no cure for TDS.
Dude, we're underreacting. We need to be rioting, not protesting. We need to be, like, burning to the ground. Somebody needs to be a hero.
I regret to inform you that the Democrats have lost whatever tenuous grip they had on sanity. Watch this performance from Democrat Congressman Robert Garcia. He actually thought he was clever here, asking the CEO of taxpayer-funded PBS the following.
The American people want to know, is Elmo now, or has he ever been, a member of the Communist Party of the United States? A yes or no?
No.
But let's talk about somebody else. Let's talk about Cookie Monster. Now, we know that Health Secretary RFK Jr. is coming out against fast food and baked goods. Are we silencing pro-cookie voters? Yes or no? Ms. Carter.
But cookies are a sometime food.
Now, these two guys actually live together. They're friends. They're supportive of each other. Now, that might be triggering to our chairwoman and someone in this committee, and perhaps that's also why we're here today. Ms. Kerger, an important question. Are Bert and Ernie part of an extreme homosexual agenda?
So infantile because, yeah, PBS are never political, are they? Well, let's have a look at a show the taxpayer-funded PBS produced.
So, get your singing voices ready. And we're going to start with our hips, The hips on the drag queen go swish, 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 swish. The shoulders on the drag queen go shimmy, 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 blah, blah, blah.
Oh dear. Now let's go to the disaster that is Disney's Snow White. I can't imagine why people are not warming to this woke reimagining of a much-loved favourite. And they're not warming to its star Rachel Zegler either. Here she is before the election saying, if you don't intend to vote for Kamala, then you should unfollow her.
Vote for Kamala Harris. And it's actually non-negotiable. Our rights are on the line, folks. Our reproductive rights. Come on. Go vote blue. And if you disagree with this sentiment, just hit the unfollow button. I don't need your business. Thanks.
Okay, Rachel. Now listen to her promote the film.
The girl you remember, but she's definitely made for the modern age, and there's such an emphasis on what it really means to be the fairest of them all. And for Snow White, it's coming to terms with finding herself and finding her inner voice and finding a sense of agency so that she can be a just ruler.
And the reviews are in, and even the leftist publications can't put lipstick on this pig. This production is a train wreck. Let's go to some of these reviews. We've got this from The Independent. Lazy, visually repellent. Ouch. Exhaustingly awful and toe-curling terrible, said The Guardian. The most controversial Disney adult nightmare ever was from Rolling Stone. A strange hot mess, said the Huffington Post. And good enough for TV. That's the nicest you'll get from Vanity Fair. Now let's go to Elon Musk's transgender son, which who Teen Vogue has featured in their publication, just so this kid can blast his father and the Trump administration. Why else would they feature Vivian Jenner Wilson, a 20-year-old that's not really doing much and not exactly setting the world on fire, even with their social media output?
Give us some of your political beliefs.
Kill everyone now. Condone first-degree murder. Advocate cannibalism. Eat filth are my politics. Filth is my life. Take whatever you like.
Ah, yes, Elon Musk's daughter, a walking parody of leftist insanity. Teen Vogue glorifies this nonsense while pretending it's brave. Kids advocating for murder and cannibalism, and the media calls it stunning and brave. If a conservative said this, they'd be cancelled in seconds. But for the left, it's art. This is the cult they've built.
Now to CNN with some sobering news about Donald Trump's popularity. If there are any lefties in the room, I'm giving you a trigger warning. This is going to hurt.
I think sometimes it's important to do a little bit of reality check and take a little different spin at the numbers. I'm going to do that right here because all we talk about is how unpopular Donald Trump is. But in reality, he's basically more popular than he was at any point in term number one, and more popular than he was when he won election back in November of 2024. What are we talking about? His net favorable rating right now comes in at -4 points. Compare that to where he was when he won in November of 2024, when he was at -7 points, or March of 2017, when he was at -10 points. So when you compare Trump against himself, he's actually closer to the apex than he is to the bottom of the trough. And of course, that's so important because Donald Trump, historically speaking, has had his numbers underestimated. So I think it's very important to compare him to himself to understand he's actually more popular now than he was when he won.
CNN admitting Trump's more popular than ever. The ultimate cope. The media spent years screaming he's finished. Yet here we are, Trump's crushing it. And the left's stuck with Kamala's 22% approval rating. Their only move? More tantrums, more lies, and mocking disabled conservatives like Greg Abbott. Democrats aren't just losing, they're self-destructing in real time.
So, despite the media hysteria and lies, Donald Trump is more popular now than when he won the election in a landslide. Remember, he won every swing state, he won the popular vote, he beat Kamala Harris 312 to 226 electoral college votes. It wasn't close, folks. And if there was an election today, those polls indicate he'd win with an even bigger margin. The Democrats are in all sorts of trouble. Yes, the modern Democrats, they're the party of neo-Marxists like AOC and Bernie Sanders. They're leading the party right now, leading them straight to the depths of hell.
This isn't just about Republicans either. We need a Democratic Party that fights harder for us too.
We have a message for Mr. Trump. And that is, we will not allow you to move this country into an oligarchy.
No wonder Gavin Newsom is trying to relaunch himself as a moderate, not the far-left governor of California. But he's got a fair bit of baggage. And another Hollywood actress has decided to show us how daft and out of touch she is. Here is star of Grey's Anatomy, Ellen Pompeo, just being comically clueless and a know-it-all at the same time. It's not a good combo.
I think we all need a lot more empathy right now, and so I hope we take that away. I mean, why are old white men the only ones who are allowed to be felons?
Right.
No one else can stay in this country if they're a felon, but somehow if you're...
And he's not even that white.
Oh, just a profound point. How proud was she of what she just said? Really? Let's check in now with some leftist protesters who are asked about their job status. Cue much hysterics and victim playing.
I got to ask, it's the middle of the day on Wednesday. Do you have a job?
I do. Wednesdays, I have some flexibility, and during the day, I'm able to go do stuff. I have stuff I gotta get do.
We leave our jobs because
tomorrow.
Blood is not more precious than the resident children. That no salary, no slave wage is enough to stop me from actually raising my voice.
Oh, please, spare us the performative martyrdom. These professional protesters always have some noble excuse for why they can ditch work to scream in the streets. Notice how their principles only apply one way? And slave wages? Try telling that to the single parents actually working 2 jobs instead of blocking traffic with your Die Whitey signs.
Now, let's have some fun watching Dylan Mulvaney run in heels. Here he is mocking womanhood again. He's notched up more than 1,000 days of mocking womanhood, and he now has a billboard in Times Square.
Oh my God, it's day 1096 of being a girl. It's year 3, and that's me on a billboard in Times Square. Ah! I've got 3 Bs, a book, a bath bomb, and a billboard. Oh, wow. Now I think we should hand out some paper doll books to some of these people out in Times Square. Let's go.
You know, in this moment, the Democrats' arguments against deportations, against stopping illegal immigration, amount to just one thing: their love of cheap foreign labour. This blue-haired Texan is part of the problem.
Who's going to build the Texas detention camps? Who's going to build them? I'll wait.
And to another pitifully cheap and nasty attack from New Democrat favourite Jasmine Crockett. Here the privately educated Congresswoman mocks Texas Governor Greg Abbott, who is disabled and in a wheelchair, calling him Governor Hot Wheels.
As we in these hot-ass Texas streets, honey, y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. And the only thing hot about him is that he is a hot-ass mess, honey. So yes.
I regret to inform you that the Democrats have lost whatever tenuous grip they had on sanity.
The left's entire playbook is exposed. Fake outrage, fake victims, and fake progress. Meanwhile, Trump's winning, the silent majority is roaring, and these clowns are stuck in their moment of delusion. Drop a comment. Who's the biggest joke here? Disney, Teen Vogue, or the Democrats? Smash like and subscribe if you're ready for more of leftist meltdowns.